Hi and welcome to Your World. I'm Safira Junior and let's begin our first segment of Your World regarding the climate change. Have you noticed in our daily life how much waste a single person or household can produce? A lot for sure. A good waste management is among the important issues to reduce global warming. From Indonesia to Marshall Islands to India, see how climate change affects us in our first segment.
The International Music Festival, Java Jazz 2023, which was held for 3 days in Jakarta last weekend, have generated over 9,000 kilograms or 9 tons of waste. Less Waste, More Jazz coordinator Reynaldi Sunario said all waste are sorted and recycled to prevent burden at landfills. Such a waste sorting process from big events like Java Jazz, the garbage become easy for further management. For example, the waste will be delivered to garbage recycling facilities, which could create the opportunity to become a circular economy. Reynaldi said there were 50 bins installed at various points during the Java Jazz Festival 2023. Data from Less Waste, More campaign movement show the total garbage of the event reached 2.2 tons on the first day, 3.3 tons on the second day, and the third day reached 2.98 tons. Most of the collected waste are used beverage cartons, which will go into the recycling facilities to become recycled paper products and aluminum composite products. A member of Less Waste team from the Jakarta Environment Agency, Rahmat, said the waste sorting process this year is getting better because there are more trash bins distributed. Extreme drought, monsoon, rains, and cyclones. India is one of the countries most affected by climate change. Between 2016 and 2021, 36 million hectares of agricultural land have been destroyed by natural disasters. Behind these figures lies the distress of Indian farmers, who can lose an entire harvest in a single day. In India, the agricultural sector represents 18% of the GDP but employs 48% of the working populations. On average, a farmer owns less than 2 hectares of land, does monoculture, and lives below the poverty line. However, in recent years, citizen initiatives seem to be bearing fruit.
UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres called for greater action to protect oceans in his message to mark World Ocean Day on 8 June.
The ocean is the foundation of life. It supplies the air we breathe and food we eat. It regulates our climate and weather. The ocean is our planet's greatest reservoir of biodiversity. Its resources sustain communities, prosperity, and human health around the world. Humanity counts on the ocean. But can the ocean count on us? We should be the ocean's best friend, but right now, humanity is its worst enemy.
The UN chief said human-induced climate change is hitting the planet, disrupting weather patterns and ocean currents, and altering marine ecosystems and the species living there. Marine biodiversity is also under attack from overfishing, overexploitation, and ocean acidification. Fish stocks are being depleted, and coastal waters have been polluted with chemicals, plastics, and human waste.
This year's World Oceans Day reminds us that the tides are changing. Last year, we adopted an ambitious global target to conserve and manage 30% of land and marine and coastal areas by 2030, as well as a landmark agreement on fisheries subsidies. At the UN Ocean Conference in Lisbon, the world agreed to push for more positive ocean action. A global, legally binding agreement to end plastic pollution is under negotiation. And in March, countries agreed to the historic High Seas Treaty on the conservation and sustainable use of marine biodiversity in areas beyond national jurisdiction.
He recalled that last December, countries adopted by ambitious global target to conserve and manage 30% of land and marine and coastal areas by the end of the decade.
Realizing the great promise of these initiatives requires collective commitment. Sustainable Development Goal 14 to conserve and sustainably use the ocean's resources hangs in the balance. This World Oceans Day, let's keep pushing for action. Today and every day, let's put the ocean first.
The human-induced triple planetary crisis of climate change, pollution, and biodiversity loss continues to weigh heavily on the ocean, ecosystems, and the communities that directly depend on it. If we don't change course, the ocean's dire state will continue to decline. It didn't have to be that way. Through reimagining our relationship with the ocean and working together to better understand, prioritize, and protect it, we can rebuild and preserve the health of the ocean, both now and for future generations. I'm honored to be joining the United Nations family on World Oceans Day to celebrate how wonderful it is to live on our blue planet and underscore the importance of prioritizing the ocean's health for our own health.
Get ready for an insightful exploration in this segment. We will take you to Turkmenistan, Vietnam, and Central Africa, among others, as we delve further into the subjects of the global economy, the concept of a green economy, also sustainable development.
The city of Arkadagh became the first city in Turkmenistan where public electric transport operates. Chairman of the Halk Maslakati of Turkmenistan, Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov, made a working trip to the city of Arkadagh, during which he got acquainted with modern electric buses and electric vehicles. Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov got acquainted with electric taxis and electric buses, which are planned to be used within the city for the first time in Turkmenistan. First of all, it should be noted that electric vehicles do not run on fuel, but on electrical energy. Testing of the car's electric charging system confirmed compliance with the environmental safety requirements of vehicles. Among other features of a modern electric car is its connection to a digital system and the presence of a QR code on its door, which allows you to get complete information about the electric taxi, in particular, its technical characteristics, location, driver data, and much more. Electric buses and electric taxis are part of the large-scale work carried out as part of the implementation of the smart city concept. As part of the second phase of the construction of the city of Arkadagh, it is planned to build multi-place parking lots for each type of vehicles powered by electricity. The fleet of the new city also includes electric taxis. The city of Arkadagh is increasingly strengthening its position as a smart city.
Presenting the latest set of policy briefs on our common agenda, Secretary General Antonio Guterres on June the 5th said, The international community needs to take urgent steps under current arrangements to relieve the burden on developing and emerging economies, stressing that beyond emergency measures, we need a structural response. Our common agenda is the Secretary General's vision for the future of global cooperation. It calls for inclusive, networked, and effective multilateralism to better respond and deliver for the people and planet, and to get the world back on track by turbocharging action on the Sustainable Development Goals. It outlines possible solutions to address the gaps and risks that have emerged since 2015, calling for a summit of the future that will be held in 2024. The policy brief to reform of the international finance architecture will set out ambitious, concrete proposals in 6 areas to address historic injustices and systematic bias. The policy brief on moving beyond gross domestic product or GDP looks at measuring the things that really matter to people and their communities. Guterres said that GDP tells us the cost of everything and the value of nothing, adding that the world is not a gigantic corporation and financial decisions should be based on more than snapshot of profit and lose. The policy brief about the Global Digital Compact sets out ways to advance an open, free, secure, people-centered, equitable digital future at a time of growing anxiety about the impact of technology on people's lives. On the policy brief on outer space, Guterres said that even though most of us will never travel to space, but what happens there will have implications onto us all. Hence the policy brief. He went on to say that space assets already play a growing role in navigation, internet provision, and monitoring trends on Earth, from energy and climate to biodiversity and a host of other vital functions. Nearly 40% of SDG targets rely on data from space. The policy brief provides proposals on mitigating the risks and harnessing the opportunities of space in the most inclusive way possible. All these briefs provide ideas on revitalizing multilateral system and accelerating efforts to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals and keep global temperature rise as close as possible to the 1.5-degree limit of the Paris Agreement.
let's shift to the global healthcare sector, specifically highlighting crucial issues such as HIV or AIDS, initiatives to prevent stunting, the impact of COVID-19 restrictions, the provision of healthcare services, and also diarrhea outbreak in Phuket. Here is our last segment.
UN General Assembly President Sabah Korosi said the global AIDS response has led to remarkable results, but noted that while this progress is exceptional, it is also uneven. In his opening remarks, Korosi said that pandemic prevention, preparedness and response, whether in addressing AIDS or COVID-19, is a cornerstone of the 2030 agenda. The General Assembly President said a diagnosis that was once a death sentence has, through both science and solidarity, been transformed into a manageable chronic health condition. But noted that the most significant improvements on all fronts of this pandemic happen in countries that choose to invest in their HIV and AIDS responses, and HIV treatment and educational material is readily and freely available. In others, he said, not only is it difficult to acquire, it also remains a serious taboo.
Stunting is still a widespread problem in many countries, including in Indonesia. Data from the Indonesian Nutritional Status Study at the Ministry of Health show the prevalence of stunting rates in Indonesia in 2022 reached 21.6% among children under 5 years old. The figure hints that almost 1 in 3 children under 5 is suffering from stunting, which indicates a significant level of malnutrition. Deputy for Training, Research and Development of the National Population and Family Planning Board, Rizal Martuada Manik, said the government has set various intervention measures to reduce stunting among children, including providing nutritious food for mothers and babies, as well as clean water and sanitation facilities. The National Population and Family Planning Board is committed to providing empowerment assistance for contraceptive users, which in turn is expected to improve family welfare and nutritional conditions. Rizal said stunting prevention programs are also in line with the Indonesian government's mission to achieve the 2045 Golden Indonesia Vision at the country's independence centenary. President Joko Widodo has urged his aides to accelerate the program to eradicate stunting through collective action from various stakeholders, starting from the national level to the family. The president targets to cut stunting rate to 14% by 2024.
The healthcare network in mountainous and ethnic areas in central highlands of Vietnam has supported the maintenance of disease prevention measures and the implementations of national healthcare programs nationwide. The Central Highland Province have upgraded many healthcare facilities with modern equipment. The professionalism of the medical staff has also been enhanced. With a health insurance card, people can get free medical examinations and medicines. As a result, there have been many local people who have been coming for medical checkup recently. 100% of the health centers in Daklak province have met national standards. All communal health stations are staffed with highly skilled medical professionals who can meet the healthcare needs of the populations, especially those living in remote and ethnic areas.
According to Dr. Kusak Kukiatikon, the provincial health chief, diarrhea is spreading in Phuket, with an average about 150 cases being treated at the state and the private hospitals per day, and the outbreak is expected to persist for 1 till 2 months. He said that the condition is spreading in all age groups, but mostly among students. Patients are complaining of abdominal pain in watery stools and vomiting, with some also having a fever. Dr. Kusak suspects that the patients have consumed unhygienic foods, drinking water or ice contaminated with the noro or rotavirus or E. coli bacteria. Phuket Governor Narong Wunsiu said public health officials have taken samples of ice from 6 major ice production facilities in the province for testing, while local administrative organizations have been instructed to put more chlorine in tap water. However, that the outbreak of diarrhea on the resort island is under control, and urged members of the public to trust the public health system.
The Director of Inisiatif Perubahan Akses Menuju Sehat or IPAS Indonesia, a local foundation, says community participation is needed to control and to voice out concerns over violence against women and children to be included in the health draft bill. Director of IPAS Indonesia, Marcia Sumokil, said the importance of the community participations to control and to voice the violence against women and children to be included in the health draft bill. Moreover, Marcia Sumokil said that currently there are several laws as basic reference in handling the victims. Among them are Law Number 23 of 2004 concerning the eliminations of domestic violence (UU PKDRT) and the Law Number 12 of 2022 concerning the sexual violence crime. The law stipulated the right for better treatment, protections, and recovery of victims. However, according to Marcia, health services also need to guarantee that victims get a comprehensive recovery. Marcia also emphasized financial assistance for the victims need to be properly organized and well prepared.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Your World. I'm Safira Junior. Thanks for watching. See you next week.